Welcome to the next phase of this past paper. That's 961821 May June 2023. We are done with question number 4. Now we will be doing with question number 5. What does that say? Several companies are developing websites to market a new type of the game console. A company, the company that is first to create a website that can demonstrate the interactive features of the game console will have an advantage over the others. The requirements for the website are likely to change as more information about the features of the console are made available. That means anytime it could be changed according to the client demand. One company has decided to develop their website using a program development lifecycle based on the waterfall model. Okay, great enough. Now they are saying part 1, give 2 reasons why this may not be the most appropriate model to use in this case. Okay, do remember they just said that features can change at any time. So the waterfall is having a lower client, uh, you may say lower client consultation, okay, or you lower client involvement. So reason number 1, low client involvement. It could be difficult to make changes at the end. Okay. Now they are saying identify one appropriate program development lifecycle module for this scenario. Okay. So the red model could be the one, or the iterative model could also be the one. But iterative would be a difficult one because it's a lengthy one. So we will be going with the rapid application development model because the teams are it is divided into the teams, and each team is having a prototype at the end, and it's a high involvement of the customer as well. So we would say rapid development, rapid application development. I'm sorry. Okay. So for part B, they are saying that website has been running in test module for several weeks. Identify and describe a final stage of the testing that should take place before the website is made available to all the customers. Okay, now that means an in-house is being done. So you need to tell the stage and description as well. So it will be a beta testing, because after the beta testing, if we do have an acceptance testing that is done by the client. So we will be going with the beta testing right over here. Okay, so the description. Testing is done by a small group of persons. Small group of individuals. One part. The other one could be that will, you can continue with this part as well, that will suggest the improvements. Improvements if required. Okay. Coming to the question number 6 now. What does the question number 6 says? Now they are saying a video conferencing program supports up to 6 users. Okay, so we do have video conferencing. That means a Zoom, for example. So it is supporting 6 users. Each is speech from each user is sampled and digitized, convert from analog to digital. That means digitized values are stored in array sample. The array sample consists of the 6 rows by 128 columns. You may see at the bottom that 6 rows and 128 columns are given over here, and is of type integer. Each row contains 128 digitized sound samples from one user. The digitized sound samples from each user are to be processed to produce a single value which will be stored in a 1D array result of the type integer. This process will be implemented by procedure mix. Okay, now what is the procedure mix doing? A procedure mix will calculate the average of each of the 6 sounds sampled in a column. First thing, ignore the sound sample values of the 10 or less. Fair enough. So we need to put up the validation as well. Then store the average value in the corresponding position in the result. And finally they are saying repeat for each column in array sample. Sorry. The diagram uses example values to illustrate the process. Okay, now what they are asking about. Write a pseudocode for the procedure mix. Assume sample and results are global. So you need to store the results in this particular manner. Okay. Write pseudocode for the procedure mix. Assume sample and results are global. Okay, now how are we going to do this one? So we need to create up a procedure. Okay, they haven't asked us to pass any sort of the parameters, so we won't be taking any sort of the parameters, obviously. Okay, so procedure mix, we are going to make it. Now we need to declare a few of the things. Make in mind or keep in mind about the indentation part. So the count, then it's total, this num, we could have this user as well. After this user, this sample we will be having. And all these will be of the integer data type. Okay, we have declared few of the things over here. Now we will be doing it with the loop first of all. So we will be placing up the for loop over here. Okay, make sure for the indentation part. So we will be applying with the for loop. And we will be doing with it with this sample right now. For this sample, so the samples were from 1 till 128. Okay, inside 128, we need to we need to initialize the values now. So we need to initialize with the value. Okay, total was different and this number was different. My bad, I haven't placed the comma over there. So count will be initialized with the value 0. And initially, total will be also initialized with the value. I'm sorry, I haven't keep in mind about the indentation. So count will be initialized with the value 0. Similarly, total will be initialized with the value 0. Now again, we will be utilizing one more loop. So let's place up the line for this thing as well. Okay, so because it was into the rows in the column, so this is the reason that we are utilizing two loops over here. So now right over here for this user. Okay, so how many users were there? There are 6 users over here. So it will be assigned with the value 1, 2, 6. Now we need to check it out. We need to check it out. We need to put up the validation as well, because if it's greater than 10, only in that case, we need to add them. Okay. So if sample this user, comma, this sample greater than 10. Only in this case, what are you going to do? count will be given with a value or count will be incremented with the value by 1 and total will be given with a value total plus sample this user comma this sample. Okay, the total has been done as well. Now we will be having an AND if. Okay, just after the AND if, obviously now we will be out of the first loop, that is next this user, sorry, was in sentence case, this user. Now what are we gonna do? We will be placing up the result as well because we need to put up in the result. So result, this sample will be assigned with a value of integer total by count. And finally, we'll be coming towards next this sample. Sorry, next will be in capital. Next, this sample. And finally, it will be an AND procedure. So this is how you are going to do this one. Okay, question number 7. What does the question number 7 says? It says a school has a computerized library system that allows the student to borrow books for a fixed length of the time, for example, 3 days or the 4 days or whatsoever. The system uses text files to store details of the students, books, and the loans. Okay, details of the students, and the other one is the book, and the other one is the loan. A new model is to be written which will generate emails to each student who has an overdue book. That means they haven't returned it. Decomposition will be used to break down the problem of designing the new module into sub problems. Okay, fair enough. They are saying the new problem, that means the overdue book should be broken into multiple parts. Identify 3 program modules that could be used in design and describe their use. Okay, now what could be the thing? They are saying that you could send an email. So first of all, we could make up with a email as well. Okay, so we will be saying uh, module 1, send email. This could be one of the module used to send email to students. Okay, now other one we can say, obviously they are, if they have overdue book, so they have an overdue loan as well. So we could write it down, overdue loan. That will be identifying with the overdue book, identifies overdue book. The other one we could say sending an email. So we could have to create an email as well. And we could say identify the student as well. That will be more capital. Oh, so more good. We could say student ID identifies student with overdue book. This is how you could do this one. Okay, now they are saying the program designer produces a structure chart for the new module. Part of the structure chart is shown. Okay, module A with the repetition, module B, module C, and module D. Explain the relationship between the four modules shown. Okay, now what is the relationship? So basically, module A is calling other three modules and process is repeating. Process is repeating for given condition. Okay, now they are saying for the part 2, two new models are added, module X and module Y. Module X has no parameter. Module Y will take string and real number as the parameter and return Boolean value. Okay, module D will call either module X or module Y. Either of it will be calling X or either it will be calling module Y. Okay, now they are saying draw only the part of the structure chart that represents the relationship between X, Y, and D. Okay, you do not need to go with the previous one. You just need to focus on this one. So we have three modules over here. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so module D is calling. That means module D will be at the top. And module X could be either on this side or either on that side. Module. Okay, now they said either will be calling X or either it will be calling Y. That means it's a condition. And for the condition, you may say either this or either that. Okay, now they are saying module X has no parameter. Okay, but module Y is taking the string and the real as the parameter and returning Boolean. So for the return, it will be a filled arrow, and for taking up the values, an empty hole. So this is how you need to do this one. Okay, coming towards question number 8, what does it say? A computer shop assembles computers using items bought from several suppliers. A text file stored.txt contains information about each item. Information for each item is stored as a single line in the stock.txt file in the format item num, supplier code, and the description. Item information is as follows. Okay, the item information is given in the format item number, then the format is 4 numeric characters. Okay, comment, that means item number is stored in the real format. Oh, sorry, in the integer format, but you do not need to do it in the integer because you do not need to perform any kind of the arithmetic operator over there. Then supplier code will be 5 alphabetic characters, any of them. Description is a string of the minimum of the 12 characters, not less than that. The file is organized in ascending order of item number and does not contain all possible values in the range. Okay. The programmer has started to define a program modules as follows. Okay, now we are given with two modules. Supplier exists already written. That means it's already, you need to assume that it's already been done for you. Called with a parameter of type string representing a supplier code. Returns true if the supplier code is already in use, otherwise the returns false. If not in use, that means it will be returning false. Okay. In is new supplier. Okay, for the is new supplier, they're saying called with a parameter of type string representing a new supplier code. Okay, the supplier code 5 alphabetic characters. Returns true if the string only contains alphabetic characters. You need to check one by one for each of them, either upper or the lowercase. No issues with that. And the supplier code is not already in use. That means it should be unique as well. Otherwise, returns false. Now what they are asking you to do, write a pseudocode for the module is new supplier. Module supplier exists has already been written and should be used as a part of your solution. Module supplier exists will generate a runtime error if the given parameter is not 5 characters in length. Make sure for that. Okay, so return means we need to make up a function out of this one. So we are going to write it down in this particular manner. Function now is new supplier. So it was taking up the parameters. What are the parameters it was taking? A type of the string representing a new supplier code, single parameter, and it was returning a boolean. So normally we take it as this string and data type is string over here. Returns boolean. It's returning the boolean. Now we need to declare a few of the things as well. Make sure for the indentation part. Now we need to declare the index and we need to declare the character as well because we need to check it out for the characters individually. So it will be integer. Declare this char as character part. Okay, now we need to check it out for the 5-digit code. Okay, so how are we going to check it out? If length this is string is not equal to 5. If not, what are you going to do? It will return false. And if okay, now they are saying the supplier exists for also them. So we need to check it out if the supplier already exists. If supplier exists, what was the complete name? EXISTS. Okay. If supplier exists, this string, whatever is given to you, you need to check it out. So what it is going to return, again, it is going to return false, and finally end if. Okay, so we have checked for both of the things. Now we need to check for the individual things. Okay. So now it was a 5 characters. So how are we going to do that one part? For index 1 to 5. This char will be applying a mid and a lower function as well because they said that no matter either it's a uppercase or a lowercase. So we will be saying 2 underscore lower, or you could apply with the L case as well, not an issue. Applying with the function mid. Now what will be there in the mid? It will be this string, comma index, comma 1, and 2 brackets closed. Okay. Now a condition, if this char is less than A, or this char is greater than Z. That means you are applying a validation check over here. So less than A or greater than Z. So what are you going to return? Return false once again. Finally, and if getting out of the loop. Keep in mind for the indentation, please. And now we need to return true if the conditions are being fulfilled. And finally, AND function. So this is how this was need to done. Okay, now coming towards part B. For part B, they are again asking for the pseudocode to be done. A new model has been defined. Check new item. Now the description says call with a parameter of the type string representing a line of item information. Check to see whether an item with the same item number already exists in the file. Returns true if the item number is not already in the file, otherwise return false. Okay. Now you need to check it out with the filing as well. Okay, so over here we will be doing with the filing. So we need to return the true or false. That means a function will be applied over here. So function check new item. It will be passing as the parameter with the string, a line of the item information. So we can take it as the new line. And the data type for the new line will be string. And it will return either true or either false. That means it will return Boolean. So it will be returning Boolean. Now we need to declare few of the variables. Declare not found will be as the Boolean. Okay, we need to declare few of the strings as well. We are saying new item num. We will be saying this item num as well and this line as well. So we will be utilizing these variables in our code. And the data will be string over here. Now we need to initialize the value for the not found. So not found will be initialized with the value true initially. Okay, so it's a text file. So we need to now for the working, we need to first of all open up the file. So and we need to open up the file for the read, obviously. Okay, so we will be saying open. What was the name of the file? It was stock.txt. So we will be saying open stock.txt for read mode. So for the read, now we will be saying new item num will be assigned with the value left. Our built-in function we are going to utilize left num line 4, the fourth variable from the left hand side, because it was the four values. Okay. Then they are saying this item num will be assigned with a value 4 times 0. Okay. Now we need to check it out for the condition. That means we'll be applying the while loop over here, a precondition loop. So we say while not EOF, that means it's a not end of the file, start dot txt, and not found equals to true, and one more thing will be there. This item num will be less than new item num. So if this condition is fulfilled, then we need to check, we need to read the file. Make sure for the indentation, read file. Now which file will be read? Stock.txt. Now the variable name in which it will be read. So it will be this line. Okay, once it has been read, now we will be assigning the values. This item num will be assigned with the value left num line, sorry, left this line 4, left this line, comma 4. Okay, just after that, if this item num will be equivalent to the new item num, so this item num is equal to the new item num, then what is going to happen? Not found will be false. And if and while will be coming out of the loop. Now we need to close the file. Start.txt, return not found, and finally end function. I left a line in between. That was the reason that I was not left over here. Okay, we do have another page as well. End function. Okay, now for part C, they are saying 1. The group module supplier exists is new supplier and check new item are part of the group of modules that are combined to create a complete stock control program. Each module in the program is tested individually during development and is debugged as necessary. Checked individually. If there are bugs, they are being debugged as well. It is then added to the program and further testing performed. Okay. Identify this method of the testing. Okay. Now, what is this test type of the method is called? So the modules are checked individually. So this is known as integration testing. Okay, now they are saying one of the modules does not work properly when it is added to the program. Describe a testing method that could be used to address this problem so that testing can continue and other modules can be added. So what type of the testing could be done and how it could be added up? So it's for the 2 marks. So you may write it down. Uh, a dummy or a simple module can replace that particular module so that it could work properly and we could return with the expected values. So you can write it down. With original module to check for errors and getting results. Now for part D, they are saying a new module add item will be used to add information to the stock.txt file. State the file mod that should be used for the algorithm within this module. So they are saying add. Add means you need to open the module append over here. So it won't override the previous one. Yeah, but it would add at the end of that. Okay, now last part. It says a new module find item searches for a given item in the stock.txt file, which is already organized in ascending order of the item number. Okay, describe how this organization may improve the efficiency of the algorithm. So if it is already done in the ascending order, so obviously it will be easier to find out with the current values. Okay, and the greater values will be searched afterwards, and the lower values will be, or the smaller values will be searched earlier. So you can write it down. The smaller values could be searched before, and if required result found, it would stop the program, making, sorry, making program faster and efficient. So this is how you could do this thing. So that was all for today. Thank you so much, guys. See you in the next session of the past paper. Allah Hafiz.